This is TVM. TVM delivers breaking stories, global headlines, and the moments that matter. From exciting sports action to exclusive local events, we keep you connected. Celebrate our culture, people, and voices with powerful documentaries and inspiring stories. Experience premium entertainment, from trending music to urban lifestyle and beyond. Grow your spirit with life-changing messages and uplifting perspectives. Lead the way with bold conversations, fresh ideas, and thought-provoking shows. Wherever you are, whenever you want, watch TVM on all your devices. TVM, your world, your network.
Hello there, welcome to another edition of TVM's Metro Sports right here on TVM. And of course, I am your regular host, Fred O'Neill. This is a program, a show, a sporting show that brings you sporting stories that you want to make use of as it relates to sporting activities. And today we will be looking at different sporting events, football, the Olympics, and boxing, tennis if we can, and then definitely we'll look at what's going on in the world of soccer or football, however you want to call it. It is the midweek's edition, and when it comes to midweek, especially from Tuesday and Wednesday, it's all about club football in Europe. We'll be looking at all of that, but let's go into the business of the day, because we'll be looking at or talking about the Olympics. The sacred flame for the 2026 Milan Cortina Winter Olympics in Italy will be lit in ancient Olympia in Greece on Wednesday, that's later today, with poor weather forcing last-minute changes by the organizers. Now, the ceremony to light the Olympic flame is usually held at the ruins of the 2,600-year-old temple of Terra near the stadium where the Olympics were born in 776 BC. The weather forecast means the sun's rays will not be able to light the parabolic mirror used by actresses in the garb of ancient priestesses. Organizers have instead moved the ceremony to the Olympia Archaeological Museum, where one of Greece's most famous classical sculptures, talking about Hermes and of course the infant Dionysus by Praxiteles, is also housed. Now, rowing bronze medalists from Greece at the 2024 Paris Olympics, talking about Petros Gaidatis, has been selected to be the first torchbearer to launch the Greek leg of the Olympic flame relay. Also, former Italian cross-country ski champion Stefania Balmondo and of course luge legend Armin Zogela will be among the first torchbearers on the Greek leg of the relay, according to the organizers. Now, held February 6 to 22, 2026 winter, the 2026 Winter Games will take place in Italy for the third time, and of course the first time in Western Europe since the Turin Games in 2006. So weather conditions not favorable right now, and that's the reason why the torch will be lit indoors, as the organizers have said. All right, let's go away from that. Let's bring you up to speed with the story as it relates to boxing, because one man, Anthony Joshua, also known as AJ, faces a grueling battle, a race against time, with the skills ahead of his clash with YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul. Now, you want to know the reason why he's running against time? Well, Joshua, who is 36, has been told he cannot weigh more than 245 pounds for the contest. He's currently weighing around 265, which means he will have to shed 20 pounds within the next 3 weeks for his fight with Paul to be made official, in fact, for that fight to go ahead. Now, discussing Joshua's current physical condition, his promoter, Eddie Hine, said, and I quote, "I spoke to Joshua and he was sitting at 265 pounds or something like that. I think I told Nakisa that he was 290 pounds or something like that. The only thing is that Jake will weigh about 220 pounds, and we want AJ to come down in weight. He went further to say he's a heavyweight and hasn't caught weight before. End of quote. Now, the official prize money for this particular bout is valued at 140 million pounds, with both men set to pocket up to 70 million pounds each. Boxing. Look at the money involved right there. 70 million pounds for the YouTuber turned boxer, and of course for Anthony Joshua. All right, let's go away from that. Quickly, let's cross over to footballing activities. This one involving Nigeria's Super Falcons players, and of course is being led by the captain Rashidat Ajibade, and of course defender Ashley Plumter, and Italy-based forward Rishola Babajide. They have all come together and made known growing concerns among Nigerians over the team's inactivity during the current FIFA international window. The Falcons are without a single international friendly in a window that runs until Tuesday, December 2, a period that could have accommodated at least 2 matches for the Super Falcons. While Nigeria failed to organize a single match, Ghana secured a high-profile friendly against, England, the English women national team scheduled for December 2. Other African sides, including Zambia, Kenya, and South Africa, also lined up fixtures to maximize the window. The Falcons are expected to defend their WAFCON crown in Morocco next year, having sealed qualification with a 3-1 aggregate win, that victory over Benin Republic in October. The tournament will double as a qualifying event for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup that will be taking place in Brazil, with the 4 semi-finalists earning automatic spots and 2 more heading to the intercontinental playoff. So you want to look at what's going on with the Nigerian Football Federation. We keep asking questions. We saw how the Super Eagles of Nigeria could not qualify for the Mundial for next year in the US, Canada, and of course in Mexico. And preparations regarding that qualification was not really in top gear, and we saw the fallout. And now it is the Super Falcons. Now, information also getting to us before we came on, live, was that the Super Falcons are also planning a protest before the WAFCON tournament. Remember, the Super Eagles of Nigeria had a protest during the playoffs, where they said if they are not paid their outstanding bonuses and all that, they would not execute the match. So much for Nigerian football. Let's just stay with football. This time, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has approved the revised squad regulation that will shape, how national teams in Africa would approach the 2025 African Cup of Nations. Now, under the new rule, teams may now register up to 27 players for major tournaments. However, CAF will only take responsibility for the expenses of 23 players from the 27, covering hotel, travel, accommodation, and competition logistics, while the additional 4 players will be funded by their respective federations. CAF says the adjustment will enable coaches to better deal with injuries, suspensions, and tactical demands in what is expected to be a congested tournament calendar. Now, under this new rule, teams may now register up to 27 players for the tournament. All right, so that's exactly what we are being told. Now, the Super Eagles begin their campaign on December 23, 2025 against Tanzania at the Complex Sportive de Fes in Fes, while Tunisia face Uganda the same day at the Stade Annex of Prince Moulay in Rabat, all happening in Morocco. Now, very soon we'll have, we'll open a kind of studio for a countdown to the AFCON tournament that will be coming up. It's just, I think, about 25 days to kick off. I know it's 20-something days to kick off. We'll be opening our studios to be highlighting and be looking at some of the teams, if not all of the teams that will be in the AFCON 2025 in Morocco. All right, the top 4 seeded countries will not be able to meet each other. This one is about FIFA now. That's what FIFA has come up with, that top 4 seeded teams will not be able to meet each other until the semi-finals of next year's World Cup for the first time in the history of FIFA World Cup. Now, FIFA has announced that Spain, who are seeded first, and Argentina, who are seeded second, will be paired and placed into groups in opposite halves of the draw. France, who is seeded 3, and England, seeded 4, will also be paired, which means England will not be able to come up against Spain or Argentina until the semi-finals, and of course France until the final. Now, this only applies if the 4 countries, each of these 4 countries I just mentioned, win their groups. When the 2 teams are paired, when 2 teams are paired, they are placed in opposite halves of the knockout bracket, and they cannot meet each other until the final. So FIFA wants to ensure the top-ranked countries do not meet earlier in the knockout rounds, thus potentially creating blockbuster games later in the tournament. The same ranking system was also used, if you remember, for the Club World Cup in the summer, where we saw things happening, especially in the United States of America. The 4 pots for the final draw, the 4 pots which takes place will take place on Friday, the 5th of December, as being confirmed by FIFA. So, like I said, those 4 countries may just not meet each other until the semi-finals, those 4 seeded countries. Now, still with football, and now back to the home front. The former president of the Nigerian Football Federation, Amaju Melvin Pinnick, has said that the Super Eagles' failure to qualify for the 2025 World Cup in the US, Canada, and America was partly because of the revised qualification format. He noted that the team would have qualified if the 2018 qualification structure remained in place. Really. Now, he made this remark on Monday at the Big Sport Dialogue in Ikoyi, where he faced pointed questions, from the national president of the Authentic Nigerian Football and Allied Supporters Club, talking about Abayomi Ogunjimi. The exchange began when Ogunjimi asked how Pinnick had used his influence as a former first vice president of CAF and a member of FIFA Council to advance Nigeria's interests, noting that the country failed to reach the World Cup during his second tenure in 2022 and is also set to miss the next edition in 2026. He made the remarks on Monday, saying that that's the reason why Nigeria could not qualify because of the old format. But then he's being questioned here and there about that particular one. Now, the question is, Amaju Melvin Pinnick was the NFF, the Nigerian Football Federation president, when Nigeria did not qualify for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, where it was a double-leg affair between Nigeria Super Eagles and the Black Stars of Ghana. Now, Nigeria was eliminated on the away goal rule. That was a situation where even our technical crew were deficient about the information on qualifying for the Mondial, as it were. And now he's saying that if FIFA had remained with the former format of qualifying for the World Cup, Nigeria would have qualified. Really, when we had opportunities, FIFA has brought out opportunities for Africa, 9 opportunities for Africa to go to the World Cup. Nigeria still could not. Even through the playoffs, where we found ourselves, we still could not go to the World Cup. Melvin Pinnick, I think if you have something else to say, say it. Let's move forward. Cristiano Ronaldo is in the news because he will be able to play for Portugal in the opening game at next year's World Cup. Despite his red card against the Republic of Ireland, Ronaldo, who is 40 years, was sent off for an elbow to Dara O'Shea, who had an elbow on his back during Portugal's 2-0 qualifying defeat earlier this month. Now, violent conduct normally carries a 3-match ban, but Ronaldo has had the second and third matches suspended for a year. Ronaldo sat out the match against Armenia on 16 November, so will not miss any games in the United States next summer. The FIFA statement reads, and I quote, "If Cristiano Ronaldo commits another infringement of a similar nature and gravity during the probationary period, the suspension set out in the disciplinary decision shall be deemed automatically revoked, and the remaining 2 matches must be served immediately." Now, this is FIFA trying to save face. When they came up after, I think, the qualifiers, after the qualifying series, both in Europe, the Asia, in fact, around the globe, except for the the playoffs that we'll now be looking forward to next year, March. They came up with a photograph of players going to the World Cup and in their own website, and Cristiano Ronaldo's face was not there. They had the bashing from fans of Cristiano Ronaldo around the world, and FIFA had to pull down that graphics and had to bring another graphics where we had Cristiano Ronaldo in it. And also there is this general saying that FIFA does not recognize, or how would I put it now, does not give Cristiano Ronaldo the credit that he deserves, rather focus more on Lionel Messi. So when they looked at what happened in that particular game against their opponent that they played, where he had that elbow on Dara O'Shea's back, the Republic of Ireland player, the straight red card that came up, they looked at it like, okay, if he served, which he already did against Armenia, where they won 9-1 or 9-0, can't remember the scores again, but they now looked at it that in the first 2 games in the World Cup proper next year, Cristiano Ronaldo will not be there. They looked at it that is somehow going to demarcate FIFA, viewership, and of course for people to come to the stadium for that particular match, and they had to bring this particular part in the constitution of FIFA rules and regulations, and the warning has been singled out to Cristiano Ronaldo that if he commits another infringement in such similar nature and gravity during this, because according to them this is a probationary period, if he commits that before the World Cup, then definitely he will serve the other 2 ban that that he was supposed to serve. This is the case of how FIFA wants to ensure that some persons or some countries try to get to their games. For instance, there's this calculation or this school of thought that says FIFA were the ones, and CAF especially, were the ones that bent the rules for Nigeria to qualify for the what's it called now, the playoffs, where we saw Nigeria defeating Gabon and then lost to the DRC. So this is how they just want to bring these big boys to the table. And of course, there's another story that is developing in the world of football. The Russian president, Vladimir Putin, is trying to organize another tournament, for those countries that did not qualify for the World Cup, Nigeria inclusive. They want to have another mini World Cup for Nigeria, for the world to see, apart from the FIFA World Cup. All right, so this is the first leg of Metro Sports this morning. Just to let you know that we'll go for a short break, and when we return, we will be looking at some interesting football activities that happened just yesterday. Stay with us.
At DSAG Engineering and Services, we anticipate, manage, and deliver. Since 2000, we have been a leading EPC company, ensuring customer satisfaction through quality service and timely delivery. With integrity, proficiency, and innovation at our core, we provide world-class solutions tailored to your needs. From engineering designs and construction to procurement, manpower outsourcing, and maritime supplies, DSAG delivers excellence. Partner with us today. Visit www.dsag.net or call +23 4807 254 8724. DSAG Engineering and Services. Anticipate, manage, deliver.
Welcome back from that break, and of course before we went for the break, we told you that we'll be telling you what happened yesterday in the world of club football. In fact, it is the major tournament when it comes to European club football. It is the UEFA Champions League, and last night we saw some very interesting results, very interesting results. Nobody saw some of these results coming through. Chelsea, in fact, they are singing a lot of songs now. So much noise in the streets of London as we speak. And of course, Manchester City, even at home at the Etihad, were defeated. So we'll bring all that story to you right now. But let's start off with some of the one we saw, Juventus against Bodo Glimt, because Juventus actually edged past Bodo Glimt to finally secure their first win in the season's Champions League. Bodo Glimt actually had stunned Juventus when it took the lead in the 27th minute by Ole Didrik Blomberg. Juventus equalized after the break through Loe Openda, but Juventus also scored again in the 55th minute through Weston Mackenzie. But Bodo Glimt, scored in the 87th minute via penalty with the hope that, they are settling for a draw, because when you look at the time, 87th minute, you want to say, I will see this one out. But Juventus got the better of the home side in the 91st minute through Jonathan David. Good result for Juventus, like I said, the first win for them. Well, in another game, Serhou Guirassy, the Ghanaian international, scored twice to help Borussia Dortmund to a routine victory over Villarreal of Spain. Well, they were reduced to 10 men, talking about Villarreal. But Guirassy scored the second minute of a first half stoppage time. That was 2 minutes of added time in the first half. He scored his second via a penalty, although initially the penalty was saved, but then he sealed the goal. He had to score it from the rebound, albeit Villarreal having a defender sent off after handling the ball in the box. Adeyemi and of course Svensson rounded up the scoring for Borussia Dortmund to make it 4-0. All right, in London, yes, at Stamford Bridge, it was all about Chelsea and Barcelona. Yes, one young man, in fact, two young men were on display, and it was going to be a case of who was going to come up on tops. For Chelsea, it is Estevão, the Brazilian, 18-year-old, and for Barcelona, it was Lamine Yamal of Spain. But for the Chelsea player, Estevão, he scored a stunning second goal after Barcelona went down to 10 men. Talking about the captain of Barcelona side, Ronald Araujo, who was sent off for a second booking just before the break. By then, Chelsea had taken the lead through an own goal by Barcelona defender Jules Koundé, with substitute Liam Delap completing and scoring. Of course, that was his first goal for the club, ending an 11-game drought for Chelsea, talking about Liam Delap. Now, victory lifted Chelsea into the top 8 of the 36 team league phase. Remember, it's still the league phase, meaning they would avoid an extra playoff round in February if they keep their position as it is right now with 3 matches to go. Now, still in England, this time around at the Etihad Stadium, Pep Guardiola's 100th Champions League game in charge of City ended in a disappointment after City were stunned by Bayer Leverkusen, the German side. Now, Guardiola made 10 wholesale changes following that defeat in the hands of Newcastle on Sunday in the Premier League, but the decision backfired as City fell to back-to-back defeats. Christian Kofani of Leverkusen clipped the ball back for captain Alejandro Grimaldo to drill home a crisp first-time finish. Leverkusen doubled their lead on 54 minutes as Patrick Schick leapt highest to, glance home a sweet header from Ibrahim Maza's pinpoint cross. Now, this was just Leverkusen's second win from 5 games in the Champions League this season, lifting them up to 13th in the table, which would see them progress to the playoffs. We still, like I said earlier on, we still have about 3 more games to go in the UEFA Champions League. All right, so these are some of the pictures we just showed you, but let's just look at the full results of what transpired last night, if we can get the results on the screen. Ajax Amsterdam, right there in the Netherlands, lost at home to Benfica 2-0. Galatasaray without Victor Osimhen, yes, lost at home to Union Saint-Gilloise by a lone goal. But like we just talked about, that game between Bodo Glimt and Juventus edged that one 3-2. And of course, that 4-goal thriller entertaining game, Borussia Dortmund right there in Germany defeating Villarreal by 4-0, albeit a man sent off in the Villarreal side. All right, let's see if we can take all the results. Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. That's a game where we also saw a red card in the first half for Barcelona. The captain of the side, he was jittery all through before that second yellow card that ended him the expulsion from that game. You don't want to say that it is because of the red card, the one man down, that made Chelsea to get the 3-goal result. No, Chelsea from the ascendancy, from the blast of the whistle to the end, they were all over Barcelona. Good result for Chelsea, 3-0, 3 points in the kitchen for them. Manchester City at the Etihad, like we said earlier on, 10 wholesale changes. Even when Erling Haaland from the bench came, had a couple of opportunities to at least bring his side back into the game, could not convert, and they lost now to Bayer Leverkusen by 2-0. Marseille, Emerick Aubameyang, getting old, and of course his wine getting sweeter, defeated Newcastle United by 2-1. Aubameyang having his club Marseille of the French Ligue 1. And of course, the defending champion of the Serie A, Napoli, yes, defeated Karabakh by 2-0. And the only game of the night that did not produce any goal was a game between Slavia Prague and Athletic Club. It ended goalless. All right, let's see. There's the games for last night. Let's see the games for tonight. Yes, a continuation of match day 5 in the UEFA Champions League. Of course, we have a couple of games that will be kicking off by 6:45 p.m. It is FC Copenhagen against Kairat Almaty. Yes, that game coming up at 6:45 p.m. Also, Paphos will take on a French Ligue 1 side, Monaco, 6:45 p.m. Now, one of the matches we will be looking at, if we have the time, will be, I think 2 of them that we'll be looking at, but one of them is Arsenal against Bayern Munich. That game coming up at 9 o'clock Nigerian time. Atletico Madrid of Spain, of La Liga, will take on Serie A side Inter Milan. And then the German side, Frankfurt, will host our own Ademola Lookman's Atalanta from the Serie A as well. Liverpool, yes, they want to put the pains behind them after Nottingham Forest came to Anfield to defeat them by 3-0. They will be stay at the Anfield tonight, hoping that the fans will come supporting them again, and this time against the Netherlands side, PSV Eindhoven. Olympiacos will host Real Madrid, the Serie A champions of the UEFA Champions League, although they they didn't win it last season, but at least credit must be given to whom credit is due. So Real Madrid, with all the dressing room wahala that they are facing right now, because we heard that there's a faction of two factions in that dressing room. One in support of Xabi Alonso, the coach, and another group saying they are fed up with Xabi Alonso, the likes of Vinicius Junior, one of them who are not in line with Xabi Alonso. But hey, it is a game between Olympiacos and Real Madrid coming up at 9 o'clock. And then the defending champions of the UEFA Champions League, Paris Saint-Germain, will take on English side Tottenham Hotspur. And Sporting CP from Portugal will take on the Club Brugge. That game also coming up at 9 o'clock, Club Brugge from Belgium. So these are the fixtures that we'll be looking at tonight in the UEFA Champions League. Let's look at the table before we come back to talk about just one or two more talking points about the Arsenal-Bayern Munich game. You look at the top of the table, like I said, match day 5 is what we are right now, but the top two teams there have not kicked the ball. They are still having 12 points. In fact, the top 3 teams have not kicked ball yet. They have maximum points right there. Bayern Munich and Arsenal and Inter Milan all 12 points from 4 games, just goals difference separating the teams, as it were. On the fourth position in the UEFA Champions League there, Borussia Dortmund, 5 games, 10 points. And then Chelsea, they've clawed themselves back into the top 5 right there. In fact, remember, it is the top 8 that will qualify automatically from this league phase that we have in the UEFA Champions League. So Manchester City, even with that loss, on 6th position there. Paris Saint-Germain, without kicking ball yet, they are also on the top 8 on the 7th position, and then Newcastle United on the 8th position. All right, let's go to the number 9 there. Real Madrid will be playing later tonight. They are on the 9th position on 9 points. Liverpool on 9 points on 10th position. Galatasaray playing yesterday, losing at home with 9 points on 11th position. Tottenham Hotspur might leapfrog Galatasaray if they have a win tonight. But there's going to be a big ask, by the way, from the defending champions PSG. Well, let's see how they can, because if Chelsea could do it, why won't Tottenham do it? They are seated on the 12th position. 13th position is Bayer Leverkusen, and of course on the 14th position, Sporting Lisbon. Barcelona, with that loss last night, they find themselves in the 15th position, and that's in the playoff spots with 7 points. And then Karabakh on 16th position. On the 20, on the from number 9 to 24 will go for playoffs. Yeah, that's the position they will be. But let's see, at number 17, Atalanta, they have a game tonight. They are on the 17th position. Napoli, with that victory last night, also kept them in the top 24 on the 18th position. Marseille, with that victory as well, on 19th position. Atletico Madrid, they have a game tonight, and away for them would take them, they'll climb higher from this 20th position. On the 21st position is Juventus, played 5 games, 6 points. Union Saint-Gilloise on 22nd position, and then PSV Eindhoven and Monaco share same points, 5 points each, 23rd and 24th positions respectively. So from 25th to 36th, if it remains this way, these guys would crash out of the UEFA Champions League. Pafos, Club Brugge, Eintracht Frankfurt, Athletic Club, Benfica, Slava Prague, Bodo Glimt, Olympiacos, Copenhagen, Villarreal, Kairat, and Ajax. Ajax are the only team without a point from 5 games. This is a footballing giant back in the days, and look at what their football have taken them to. So that's the table for the UEFA Champions League, the group stage. It is time for us to just look at a couple of games that will be coming later tonight. Let's start off with the one with Arsenal. Arsenal against Bayern Munich. And let's get that table, if we can, back up on the number 1 position. These are two teams that would be vying for who is going to be at the top of the table at the end of match day 5. Remember, Bayern Munich are on top as a result of the goals difference. They have the 3 teams right there, Bayern Munich, Arsenal, and Inter Milan, have not lost any match, and it's only Arsenal that have not conceded in that neck of the wood. For Inter Milan, they've conceded once, and Bayern Munich have conceded thrice. But Bayern has a higher goals for, which is plus 14. All right, so the goals difference between Bayern and Arsenal are 11 each. So you want to look at them. 12 points both occasions, both teams scored. And when you look at the times they have played together, these two teams have met 17 times in all competitions. Arsenal have won just 5, while Bayern Munich have won 8. And both teams have drawn 4 times. Now, Arsenal have faced Bayern Munich 14 times before in the UEFA Champions League, the most times they have ever faced a side in the competition. The Gunners are winless across their last 5 meetings since a 2-0 win in October. Check it out, 2015. Yeah, and of course, with 3 of their 4 defeats in that time coming via 5-1 scoreline. So you can see Bayern Munich have made Arsenal like their wives, so to speak. Now, this will be the 5th time that Bayern Munich have faced Arsenal in the UEFA Champions League group or league phase, facing them during both the 2000 and 2001, that's in the second group stage, and of course 2015-2016 campaigns. The German side, talking about Bayern Munich, have lost just one of those games, a 2-0 defeat at the Emirates Stadium in October 2015 due to goals from Olivier Giroud and Mesut Ozil. For Arsenal, they have won each of their last 8 UEFA Champions League group or league phase games by a combined 24-2 goal scoreline, conceded just 2 goals and scored 24. It's already their longest such run in the competition's history. Can't beat that. All right, since a 3-0 loss to PSG in September 2017, Bayern Munich have lost just 3 of their 52 UEFA Champions League group stage. That's equivalent to 45 wins and 4 draws, though all 3 defeats in that time have come away from home. Just to let you know that the German side, they are a force to reckon at home. For Arsenal, they are the only team yet to concede a goal, like I said earlier on, in the UEFA Champions League this season, while they rank first for both expected goals against, which is 1.94, and shots on target faced, which is about 7. For Bayern, they ranked joint first for goals scored, that's 14, level with Paris Saint-Germain, and expected goals 12.3 across the opening 4 match days of the current season. So these are some of the talking points in this particular game between Arsenal and Bayern Munich. Now it is going to be Harry Kane against Arsenal. You want to look at how Harry Kane has performed against Arsenal in the past, and you say that he has scored 15 goals in 21 career appearances playing against Arsenal. He has scored 21 goals playing against Arsenal while he was in England. Would he continue in that same form? Tonight we will be able to tell. All right, so that's the game between Arsenal and Bayern Munich. All right, the other talking points, if we can get the table up again, will be the match between Liverpool and PSV. Now, I specifically picked these 2 games out because of, people meeting a former team. Now, for the Arsenal and Bayern Munich game, it's Harry Kane going back to England to play at the Emirates Stadium, a stadium where he has played again and again in the North London derby while he was in England. And like I said, he has scored some mouthful of goals against the London club Arsenal. Now, for Liverpool, they are taking on PSV Eindhoven. Now, remember that Arne Slot, the gaffer or the coach of Liverpool, came from what club? From what country? From the Netherlands, from PSV Eindhoven. So he is welcoming his former club to England, to Anfield. Will he get the better of his former club? Or do the former club know exactly how he executes his game and they want to use that again to defeat him? All right, let's look at their form and their stand. So far, Liverpool are on the 10th position from 4 games, 9 points as it were. But for PSV Eindhoven, they are struggling. They are in the 23rd position. They are in the 23rd position with just 5 points. And you look at how many times these teams have played together, 7 times. Liverpool have won 5 times, while PSV Eindhoven have just won once, and there's a draw between these pair. You want to look at all competitions in the previous results that this pair have met. PSV defeated Liverpool January 2025 3-2 in the UEFA Champions League. That was last season. And of course, in 2008, it was Liverpool that defeated them 3-1. And of course, Liverpool in 2008 as well, in the UEFA Champions League, also won 3-1. Now, Liverpool won 5 of their first 6 meetings with PSV in European competition, drawing 1, but were beaten 3-2 in Eindhoven in last season's UEFA Champions League league phase. Their sole defeat in the first stage of last season's competition. I remember when they were executing that league phase. That was the only loss they had in the league phase. Now, PSV Eindhoven have won just one of their last 14 European away games against English opposition, drawing 5 and losing 8. A 1-0 win against Tottenham Hotspur in 2007-2008 UEFA Cup round of 16 first leg through a Jefferson Fofana goal. All right, Liverpool have won each of their last 13 UEFA Champions League home games in the group stage and league phase, beating Real Madrid 1-0 on match day 4 to set the outright longest such run by a Premier League side. So Arne Slot will want to do all he can to get his words back into reckoning in this particular fixture. Remember that for Liverpool, they have in 5 games in all competitions, they have won just 2 and of course lost 3. Among the games they've lost in the League Cup, where they lost 3-0 against Crystal Palace. Remember, the same Crystal Palace defeated them in the Community Shield at the beginning of the season. And of course, in the Premier League, Aston Villa defeated them by 2-0. And then in the UEFA Champions League at Anfield again, Real Madrid came there and defeated them by a lone goal. And then they came back to the Premiership, where City defeated them at the Etihad by 3-0. And then before the international break, when we returned from the international break, I beg your pardon, just last weekend, it was Nottingham Forest at Anfield defeating Liverpool by 3-0. For PSV Eindhoven, a kind of improvement for them. In 5 games in all competitions, they won 4 and drew 1. So let's see how this will be. Will Arne Slot stop the rot that's going on at Liverpool? And of course, he has had the backing from the hierarchy of the club, talking about Liverpool, that he will not be sacked But the information also reaching us is that he has been given from now till the end of the year, probably January, to see if he can turn the tide around. But if he cannot, then definitely they just might be looking at replacing him in the beginning of next year. All right, so it is all about the UEFA Champions League tonight. I don't know where you pitch your tent. I don't know who you're supporting tonight. But hey, I just want to say this one to the Chelsea fans. Farabale, just be calming down. It is still the group stage. Yes, we all know that you've defeated the champion. You are world champions when it comes to club football by winning the Club World Cup in the US. And of course, you in that neck of the wood, you defeated the UEFA Champions League holders, PSG of France, and now you have defeated Barcelona, another team that people have been saying, if Barcelona were in the Club World Cup, they would have won the Club World Cup. That's what the Chelsea fans have been saying, and now they said they cleared their doubts, defeating them by 3-0. Okay, so are we going to see another shocking result like we saw last night, especially for Pep Guardiola, who said all the blame should go to him for making too many changes in his side, lost to the counterpart there, 2-0 Bayer Leverkusen, coming to England at the Etihad. And of course, Real Madrid will be looking at that particular fixture to see if they can get a result. As we hear, there's a division in the dressing room. All right, this is where we'll have to draw the curtain from TVM's Metro Sport. Remember that Metro Sport comes your way every day during the weekdays from 11:30. Do well to always join us to get the latest stories as it relates to sporting activities. And of course, the weekend edition is called the Weekend Football, Saturdays by 2 p.m. as well, when we also showcase football across the globe. And you can also watch us on the go on TVM's app. Yes, we have the app. It's accessible on Android, Play Store, and of course via Apple Store. You can follow us and interact with our social media pages. They are displayed on the screen right now. You can like, subscribe, and share. And of course, get to us to let us know how and where you're watching us from. Give us feedback to know what we're doing and how to bring more beautiful contents, quality content for your viewership. Once again, thank you for being part of the show. I'll see you again very soon. In the meantime, stay blessed and stay out of trouble.
This is TVM. TVM delivers breaking stories, global headlines, and the moments that matter. From exciting sports action to exclusive local events, we keep you connected. Celebrate our culture, people, and voices with powerful documentaries and inspiring stories. Experience premium entertainment, from trending music to urban lifestyle and beyond. Grow your spirit with life-changing messages and uplifting perspectives. Lead the way with bold conversations, fresh ideas, and thought-provoking shows. Wherever you are, whenever you want, watch TVM on all your devices. TVM, your world, your network.
Are you learning properly?